Welcome back to the Playdate. I am your host, Susan Petersen.
Hi, I'm your host, Mariah, Hosea.
Today, we are talking about that first year milestones. Mariah has 5 children.
Yes.
So you've been through that first year 4 times.
Yes, correct. And it's all been different each time and crazy chaotic. So first-time moms, just give yourself grace because it's a wild ride. It's a roller coaster every single time.
I feel like that is the theme of everything
Yes.
for being a mom. Just
Most
be nice
definitely.
to yourself.
Of course, yes.
Yes.
I agree.
Okay, so let's talk through your first year milestones. You said it's been different each time. Can you deep dive into that for me?
So my oldest is 6. So my first
Okay,
time.
I know. If this is your guys' first episode with Mariah, we might talk about this every time you're on an episode. You have 5 children, 6 and under.
Correct. Yes.
On
So
purpose.
it's been a busy 6 years.
On purpose.
On purpose. No twins, I wish, but
No twins. Okay. Okay, so back to how it's been different each time.
Yeah, so they're all about a year and a half apart. So with my first, I'll say it was the most terrifying just because I didn't know what I was doing at all as a first-time mom. But I feel like each time you just have more to offer to your children. So
more of yourself, or
Yeah,
oh,
exactly.
that's such a good point.
Yeah,
Oh my
like
gosh.
each time is different. And I think even just them being different genders, it's like different experiences each time.
Right. I know that this is like, it's a categorization, but do you find that your boys were lazier than your girls the first year? It's a stereotype for sure.
I feel like, yeah, that's pretty true because my girls were just so go, go, go.
Yes.
They met their milestones right when they were, according to the pediatrician, when they were supposed to. And my boys were a little slower. Well, I still have a young boy. He's 9 months, so he's still growing and learning. But yeah, I agree. Girls are a little bit faster.
Yeah, I feel like they talk quicker.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, my oldest is a girl, so this is all I have. For sure. They like to be independent. And if you're listening, you might have had a different experience. So I don't want to generalize totally.
Yes.
But that was my experience, was that my daughter was more independent quicker. I don't think my son started crawling till 13 months.
Oh my goodness.
And then he crawled and walked like within like 4 weeks. But he just loved to just lay on the floor and
They just love mama. I feel like boys, they just are so dependent on mom.
Yes.
My boys anyways.
Yes.
They could care less about dad, but mom, like just me being gone, I was worried for my husband. I'm like, are you going to be okay? Like,
right.
Send an SOS if you need me because I'm still nursing. And he's like, are you going to?
Your youngest is a girl or a boy?
Boy. Yeah.
Okay, wait, let's break it down. So oldest girl.
So my oldest is 6. He's the boy. And then I have sandwiched in between is 3 girls.
Yes.
And then my youngest is a boy.
So 6 and then?
6 and 9 months. My son's name is Micah. And then I have Zaria, who's 5. Nova, who is 3. Haven is just turned 2. And then Eden is 9 months.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay. So you are going through 9 months. So what milestones is your 9-month hitting right now?
Right now, it's the best. He loves to feed himself. So he's in the finger food era. He loves just stuffing his face with toast, bananas, strawberries, all the things. And then he also is so happy. He's always smiling. His teeth are coming in. He has 2 front teeth coming in.
Oh, cute.
So teething isn't the best.
No, it's not easy.
It's actually the worst at 3 o'clock in the morning. And all he wants to do is nurse. Nursing moms, oh my gosh.
Yes.
Because it's not fun when they're older and their teeth are coming in because he will pull that sucker like Laffy Taffy. Like he's biting on it and it's the worst. But
and how about how you never feel more sorry for yourself when your boob stretches out the first time like that? And you're like, it used to be so cute.
Yeah, it was so cute and perky. Now it's not.
It gets back there. Okay, so that's so cute. And then with your other kids, so you said your boys didn't hit them the same time. When were they just a little behind on stuff?
Yes. So my son actually had infantile seizures. So he was just slower all around.
Like cerebral seizures or?
So they didn't really know what happened. So he was 10 days old and he started to have seizures out of nowhere. And then they gave him this medicine. And the medicine, one of the side effects would be that he would learn a little slower. So that's what we kind of saw is that he had like delayed speech. He couldn't sit up as quickly as with my other babies. So things like that. I'd pay attention to mamas, just like make sure that your child's meeting those milestones. And if they're not, make sure you're talking to your pediatrician.
Mm. How did you find out about the seizures?
So he just would have a little, like, would tick his little head because he was so small still. So it wasn't like a huge seizure, but he would just kind of like go like that. And then I just took him in. They're like, oh, this is actually a really big deal. He's having seizures. And I was so scared. I was a new mom. I didn't know what was going on. But yeah, he ended up having to be in the hospital for a few weeks for that. But
for testing?
Yeah. So he went into the MRI and like had all these tests done because they didn't
Oh
know
my
if it was like
gosh.
meningitis or other things. So it was scary. So
This is your first?
Yeah, my first.
Oh my gosh.
So that was definitely really, really scary.
My son had febrile seizures when he was under 3.
Oh, yeah.
So
And that's from fevers.
Yes,
Correct?
so he would get fevers
Yeah.
and then he'd have a seizure. And the first time it happened, and they're the full ones where they totally go.
Oh, that is
so
scary.
scary.
That is so scary.
And the first time it happened, I was like so scared. But then he grew out of them and
yeah.
it ended up being fine. And your son, has he grown out of it?
Yes, thankfully. He hasn't had them. Like when he turned 1, they still kind of were doing testing, but he hasn't had it since. So that's good. They were thinking it was genetic because they couldn't really find a
febrile
cause.
seizures. Yeah, they don't know a lot about seizures.
Yeah.
It's
really
found.
scary because seizures are the scariest thing I've ever witnessed. I'm like,
They're scary to witness. They're so scary as a mom,
Yeah.
but actually they don't do any damage to the kid. Like it's scary to see, but then like my doctor was like, oh yeah, it's actually just like turning your computer off and on, like shutting it down.
Good way to think of it.
And then
just rebooting.
Yes, exactly. And I was like, oh, but it felt so terrifying.
Yes.
So I love how you were like, and I think too, like if you feel like your mom and intuition, just a tiny little tick. So if you're listening, she like took her head up to her and her shoulder and just like moved her, like your ear to your shoulder.
Yeah.
That was
it. It wasn't anything big.
And that made you take him in.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's that mom intuition.
Yeah,
You
I
knew
was
it
just
wasn't
like,
right.
This isn't normal.
Right.
Yeah. It was very scary.
Well, you're lucky he didn't have meningitis.
Yes.
Not
Very
lucky
blessed.
that you had seizures, but okay. So he was a little delayed. And then your 3 girls in the middle, they were just right on time.
Yes. My 2-year-old right now, she's, I feel like, my quickest learner. She's just a little firecracker. But yeah, every child is different and they're all going to just progress at different times. And I think it's important to not compare each child to each one because they're all going to be different.
Right. Totally. Do you feel like your girls are quicker also because they have each other?
That may be. I feel like the oldest doesn't have anything to go off of. They're kind of just thrown in. But the youngest have their older sibling to look at for help. But
right. Yeah, and also I feel like sisters are a different breed.
Oh, yeah.
Too. Yes.
Yes. Agreed.
Yeah.
They are a power trio, those 3. They know how to drive mom crazy.
In the best way.
Yes. So for me personally, I feel like the newborn phase, I don't know about you, but I love the newborn phase. I'd prefer the newborn phase over everything else just because they're right there next to you. All they need is mom. Like, I don't care to wake up every 2 hours.
Like 0 to 3 months, you're saying?
Yeah, I love the newborn phase.
That's your favorite phase?
Yes, because they're just they just need you. And then once they start crawling, they're getting into everything. And like, you're like, nope, don't touch that. Oh, you're going to get hurt. I have a lot more anxiety when they're a little bit older. But when they're right there by me, I'm like, okay, you're right there. There's a little sack of potatoes. I can take you everywhere with me.
Sure.
Yeah.
I love the newborn phase. I don't know. You know, we talked about this on your screen test. Like, I feel like my kids are now so old that I can't, like, I look at everything. Yeah. And I look at everything like kind of rosy, like everything was great. Nothing was wrong. But I feel like you say like a 2-year-old girl that's like fiery. And I'm like, I wish I had a 2-year-old girl that was fiery right now. Or even like a 6-year-old boy, like their sweet little voice. I loved every stage. I think it's just like so fun. I love the newborn stage. It's like so cuddly. But my sister-in-law has a grandbaby. He's 2 now, almost 2. He's so cute. And then just to have all those, like, I think that is it too. Like, do you notice that people talk a lot of crap about toddlers?
Oh, yeah.
And then you actually have a toddler and it is hard, but it's so magical.
Yes, it's true. It's magical to see them learning.
Yes.
It's kind of just like looking at a reflection of yourself, like, oh gosh, Am I like that? That's where they're getting it from. That's where my fiery girls are getting it from, my crazy attitude that I have with my husband.
Right.
kind of thing. So it's cool to see like the mirror, like your mirror image of yourself.
I also feel like teens get a bad rap. And I've had
for sure.
the best time ever with my teenagers. Like they're so fun.
Well, it helps to have a cool mom. They have a cool mom. So
yeah, but I also feel like if you buy into the hype that everyone tells you, you know what I mean? Then like if you expect, I don't know. I realized this when what is that stupid the diabetes test? The drink that you have to do.
Oh.
And people are like, it's so disgusting. I drink it.
The
I'm
glucose test.
Yeah, the glucose test. I'm like, it's orange soda. Like, what are we doing? It's a little sweet, but it's not disgusting, you know?
And you'll get through it. You'll survive.
Yeah, and everyone made such a big deal about it. And then when it's actually my turn to do it, I was like,
it's not that bad.
It's not that bad. And I think if you go into something thinking, oh, it's going to be terrible. Oh, it's going to be awful. Well, then it will be. But if you like
go in thinking, looking at it glass half full, and you're going to have a good experience with it.
Yeah. Or just if you tell yourself every day toddlers are awesome, then they become awesome.
Yes.
Because like, I bet you had the most magical Christmas ever. I'm sure it was a lot of work.
Yes. It was great. It was wonderful, actually.
Because teenage Christmases, I'm going to tell you right now, are not fun.
Oh, I believe it.
Like, my kids get everything, like...
Because they'll be happy with, like, a cardboard box.
Your kids?
Yeah.
Yeah, the age they are.
The smallest thing, they'll be ecstatic.
They're so excited to unwrap presents.
All the most expensive gifts.
Well, and they want it throughout the years. Like, they're negotiating with me, like, can this be part of my Christmas? And I'm like, but what do you open on Christmas morning? I don't care. And so like...
Oh, they care though.
Yeah.
They're like, where is my gift, Mom?
Well, my kids, it was just not magical. I had Christmas taken down by Christmas Day afternoon.
Oh no. Because you're like, I'm over it.
I was over it. But with like, then I went over to my sister-in-law's house and her little boy was like, he's so excited about Christmas still.
Yes.
And it's so cute.
I did a low-key Christmas. I did a want, a need, and then something to read.
Oh, I used to do that.
Like that.
Want, wear, need, read.
Yeah.
Yes.
My kids were just,
you get 4.
Gosh, new clothes.
And then did you do Santa?
Yeah, they had one big Santa gift to share.
And then stocking?
Yes.
Yeah, I used to do that exact same thing.
We're just keeping it low-key. You guys are still little.
It's so nice, too, because then they get a book, they get a toy, they get something they want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they were more excited about the books than the toys, so I'll take it.
Yeah, and then also you just hide the rest of their stuff for a while.
Yeah.
And then everyone's
maybe
excited.
Throw away the candy.
Yeah.
No cavities.
They still have their baby teeth. Yeah. You can have cavities.
Oh.
Wait, they don't really do cavities, though, when they're babies, right? They just give them a silver tooth?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes, my nephew used to have silver tooth. It was so
Don't
cute.
ask how I know that. Because my kids have the worst.
Do you have silver teeth?
Now. I don't know.
No, but your kids do?
Yes, my son. He has the biggest sweet tooth. He has 2 on his molars right now.
I swear, though, you either have good teeth or bad teeth.
Yeah.
Because I don't get cavities that easily.
I'm like, just tell your friends you're becoming a rapper. So don't make fun of your silver teeth.
Yeah. Why don't put some gems on it?
Yeah.
It'd be so cute.
I feel bad for him that it's silver. I wish it was white.
Well, yeah. You're either funny or you had a really easy life.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
True.
Like one or the other. He'll be fine. So now, what are you looking forward to for your 9-month-old in the next little bit?
He's just really curious.
Is he crawling?
Yes, he is really clingy to Mom too. He's getting into everything, standing up. He'll pull himself up in the crib. Not standing up by himself, just pulling himself up.
Pulling himself up on stuff. And then he's going to start walking soon.
Yes.
Oh, cute.
Which will not be fun. I don't know. I just want them to stay little forever.
Same.
I'm just so pessimistic about him getting older.
No, I get it. I get
like,
so nostalgic for the baby stuff. I have a girl going to college next year.
Oh my gosh.
I know. I'm so sad.
Oh, I would be crying every night.
I do. Yeah, no, I can't cry because of my Zoloft, but if I could, I would cry.
I'm also on Zoloft, so I get it.
It's just so nice.
Yes. It helps.
It really does. It's changed my life, honestly. Let's just pivot really quick. Can I ask personal questions?
Yes.
So you're on Zoloft and you're nursing.
Yes.
And were you worried about that?
Yes.
And what did your doctor say?
I'm on such a small dose that she didn't really have any feedback, negative feedback. She said I should be fine. But if my postpartum this time around wasn't as heavy as it has been in the past, so I haven't had to up the dose or anything like that.
Who was it the worst with?
My second, it was the worst. Yeah.
Do you know why?
I actually don't. I feel like it's just different.
Just chemical.
Yeah, chemical imbalances.
Yeah.
Because I didn't have any issues with my son, which you would think I would because of the seizures and everything and the stressors. But no, I was totally great. Like, I loved being a mom. And then the second one rolls around and I was like, yeah, in such a dark place. I would throw up, like, just because I would have to stop on the freeway, get off the freeway, and just like cry in my car. Like, it was bad. It would hinder a lot of things in my life.
When you were pregnant or after you had the baby?
After I had her. So she was already like 6 months. Like, yeah, it was like an ongoing throughout the whole year.
And you were just having anxiety and depression?
Yeah.
And then was that so when you got on Zoloft for the first time?
Yeah.
And
I also did therapy with just like a therapist over the phone, just because I couldn't really go out of my way to go to a therapist because I was just busy with kids. But
yeah. And now you can do telehealth so easily.
Yes, that's nice.
It's so nice. Thank you, COVID. And then have you stayed on Zoloft? You've gone on or off it?
Yeah, I'm still on it. I've tried to go off of it, and then I've lowered the dosage, and right now I'm just like kind of just trying to wean off of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I go up and down. I was like, I feel a little numb or whatever, so I'll go down.
Yeah.
And then
I feel like that's normal for moms. I feel like we're always going to have seasons where we're up and down. So we're going to need it more than other times.
Yeah. I think it's so nice though. And I feel like when I first got on it, I have a friend who's quite older than me. And she was like, oh, well, you don't have to be on it forever. And I was like, oh, but you wouldn't say that to someone who's diabetic.
Yes.
Like, oh, you don't have to be on insulin forever. And like, I actually need this. And I think I might be on it forever. And I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I waited way too long to go on mine.
Yeah, there's definitely a stigma, which 100%. Yeah,
100%. But it is scary to get on a medication when you feel depressed and when you have a nursing baby and when you're pregnant. Mm-hmm. It's like, I don't want to do anything to harm the baby. But SSRIs don't seem to.
Yeah, I agree. I think as women, we're just so always worried about other people. Mm-hmm. So we're such nurturers that we forget that, I actually have to take care of myself as well. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I think that's wonderful that you've continued to take it, even though you've gotten.
Well, I only got on it like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
But I wish I would have gone on it a lot sooner.
Yeah.
When I felt better, I was like, oh, this is what it feels like.
What it feels like to be calm.
Yes, calm.
Not always have racing thoughts.
Yes, and racing heart and not being able to sleep and all that stuff. Yeah. Yes. And I think like people think, well, I'm not depressed, but anxiety, it works for anxiety. I was just anxious.
Yes.
And it was amazing for me. Okay. So I guess I'm going to ask you a question that probably a lot of our listeners are you going to have more kids, Mariah?
I would love one more, only because I'm OCD and 5.
Oh, it's not you don't like that number.
I need an even number.
You need 6.
I need 6.
Okay.
So I'm going to put it out in the universe. Maybe.
Okay.
I'll be blessed with another child, hopefully another boy, because that would be 3 and 3.
Yes,
which would be the Tongan Mexican Brady Bunch.
Yes.
And it's giving. So I would love that.
Yes. I feel like 6 kids now is the old 12.
Oh, yeah. People think we went to California to Disneyland. We were in a restaurant and I had my little wagon. So I had all 4 of my kids in the wagon. The guy looks at me like, are those all your kids? Like, so rude about it. I'm like, wow, like this world that they're just so like, you're crazy if you have more than 2 kids now. It's not a thing. But I'm like, hey, I'm from Utah. So it's normal here.
Yes.
People still have 10 kids here, right?
I don't know anyone our age.
Actually, yeah, that's true.
Or your
it's just
age.
So expensive now.
It's expensive.
It's expensive to have kids.
Yes, and the world is kind of made for 4.
Like my husband's family, all of them have like 10 kids in their family. Like he comes from a family of 8. We wanted 8 originally when we first got married, but it just dwindled down slowly.
Okay, now we're at 6.
Now we're at 6. So
and Fifi, your cousin, is coming on.
Oh, yes.
And she has
5 as well.
5, yes. You guys were in a race.
Yes. She just popped him out. Like she has Irish twins. So
wild. And you don't, surprisingly.
Yeah, surprisingly.
In 6 years.
I gave myself a year in between.
Okay, well, I'm excited. Hopefully you'll get pregnant and we'll be able to talk about it on the podcast.
Put the vibes out there.
We're putting it out there. Okay, well, thanks for tuning in, everyone.
Thanks, guys. See you later.